easy go.
Right guys, this is going to be another Nightfall speedrun. I'm into my speedruns lately, I don't know what it is. So, before I get into that, we're changing our class. We're doing it on the Striker, we've got 12:59, which I thought was a pretty good damn time on that class, but we're trying it on the Sunbreaker. So, first of all, build Thermite Grenade. It's a really good nade on bosses, it's pretty good. And it's good on ads. It's the best grenade out of the three. Rally Barricade we need for DBS. So I never need Towering. You could use Towering for the Infinite Forest and whatnot, but I don't feel as though I need it. Strafe Lift and Top Tree. Now that perk there, Hammer Strike, which I'm gonna call Melting Point in this video. So when I say Melting Point, I mean Hammer Strike, because Melting Point's the name I'm used to from D1. That perk gives you 50% increased damage on a boss, major, or ad. It's around 50%, I don't know if the exact percentage. So if you, for example, hit a boss with Melting Point, then pop your super, you've got 6 seconds of a time window to do damage. You've turned your super into the strongest super in the game, with exception of Celestial Nighthawk. So, also Top Tree has the better hammer, stronger hammers. So this is my Sunbreaker armor set. We're going to use standard sides, mainly for the overshield, just because of how foolproof it is getting through the Infinite Forest, and there's a long stretch that I'll explain when we get to 84. Weapons, all masterwork weapons, just like the previous video. Better Devils, Manan and Arc. We need Arc for the Arc shields on the Harpies at the end. Helps out a lot. Curtain Call is going to be our DPS rocket launcher, and Ward Cliff Coil is going to be our launcher going through the Nightfall. So yes, there's going to be some coil glitching, but this is the speed. This is a speedrun, so anything goes in this. If I was to go and do Prestige solo, like right now, obviously I wouldn't be able to coil glitch, but that would be no problem to me because you wouldn't be speedrunning it. This is different. This is a whole different thing. So I'll just speed this up so you're not waiting through it. Yeah, so I feel as though with this new scoring system, it's like I'm feeling as though to do, in regards to solo play, try to get a 30k score on Prestige each week, and then on normal do a speed run. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know if people are going to still like solo play, due to the fact that the fire team play is so good, and it is good to watch a team get over 100k. So I might invest my time away from the solo, and when I do solo, it'll just be speedrun or the 30k score. I don't know, just see. People are gonna have to. We're gonna have to see how people react, because the solos aren't as prestigious as they were. So the strategy here is get shot, go past the entrance, like the entrance that you just passed there. You don't need to kill any of that. You just need to kill the left and right turret as I did. Make sure you got your coil and target that major before anything. He's your main concern. If you're close enough, you'll get the one shot on him. As soon as you've done that, retreat, because you will get kind of rushed by 2 legionaries. It's always 2 or 3 legionaries. I've done it that many times to know. Also, there's RNG attached to this door. Like I've gotten through this door at 110. I've even killed the major only, and the door's opened. So it can't be a percentage of the amount of ads you've killed. It probably is meant to be, but there's RNG attached to it. I don't know, it's just weird. Like, that's 130, so that's kind of like, it's out of my control. So there's a lot of things in this Nightfall that are out of your control for speed wise.
Like reality trying to decide
usually that door would have opened after I'd done a major, maybe shot those 2 legionaries and done a coil. The door would have been opened by 110, 115. that time took longer.
Good to see both of you again.
There's another portal coming up that's exactly the same as that, works the same.
It was so fun. I mean,
See how the standard size, it does help, it just guarantees that you get through all the time. I mean look, I'm one shot now after all that. Lion Rampant is better for the Infinite Forest in terms of speed getting through. Which I could, you know, go Lion Rampant and then swap to standard sides. I don't end up doing it. I just feel as though I can still get through pretty quick. Because it's not just dependent on the Lion Rampant and how fast you can go, it's those portals. Like the first portal, it's whether that'll open up when you want it to, and the next one's the same. So, I felt as though just staying standard sides was fine.
Sagira, I've been meaning to ask, what are you and Osiris doing out here?
we're not completely sure yet. Some light remodeling, maybe.
Also, in terms of coil,
They don't have a say.
it would be better if you had 4 right now rather than 3. Because after the Cabal section, right what we're coming up to shortly, like right at the end of the Infinite Forest, you want to leave that area with 2 coil. It's got to be 2 coil. It can't be any less. Because that's the last section that you're kind of dealing with ads before the boss. And there's no more mages really. There is mages, but it's not built in within the strategy that we would do. So for me, having 3 coils is kind of bad. So I can only have 1 coil for here. Whereas if I had 4, I would feel a bit better. So the idea here is to come to this tree and use this tree as kind of cover, and work from here. When the snipers do jump up, because sometimes they'll jump down, luckily jump back up, you need to take them out. And then you can start working on the legionaries, whatever you call them. See, I've also had the door open up now. I would have cleared that and the door would open. This time it didn't. So I'm here waiting. It's because a lot of Cabal have jumped down, but I'm not going to jump down to go and get them for then the door to be open. If you wait here, they will jump up. It's just they were a bit slow about it this time. So like I said, the portals for time are RNG based, definitely. I've done it that many times to know now. So as soon as the doors open, don't mess around with any more Cabal, just run through. Obviously if you're not speedrunning, none of this matters. But it's just an extra challenge for me, because me just doing a normal Nightfall solo is just... it's pointless to me that, even to make a video on. Whereas I'm trying to add an extra like element to it. Yes, you can jump that gap, so you can skip all those ads. You don't even need Lion Rampant neither. You can do it without. On the Titan you can make it no problem. On the other 2 classes, I have no idea.
I just did.
So, suppose I'll maybe experiment with those. If your Sparrow is on fire, it's not worth riding. You just respawn your Sparrow. I take the top route, mainly because there's no ads. But there is a lot of lasers, and those lasers can kind of wreck like that. So it is risky in that respect, but if you've done it a lot, you're used to it. So this section is the stretch that I was painting. The reason why I've got the standard sides on, to try and increase my chances of surviving it. Obviously because we're speedrunning it, so we don't want to be stop shooting ads. I know I can get through, then so I'm going to try and get through rather than do that. I get kind of unlucky that Cabal pushes me, I go into the red, not very good, and then I get sniped from behind. So that's my one mistake there. That mistake there, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, it's kind of out of my control, but That there's lost me 30 seconds off this run. Because I was planning on... I was expecting a death on here. Because for every 10 times you do it, I would say 1 time you get through, survive the whole thing. And look at that in 1 shot. But if you can get to these snipers I'm looking at now, those 2, if you can get past them, then you're fine. If you do die, doesn't matter. Because that's not really a time waste so much. It's a quick death spawn, it spawns back up, and it has you at the boss. Outside the boss's entrance. Like that. So that death was okay, the one before wasn't. That's my only problem with these uploads. I've been trying to farm for a better time. The time isn't the problem. What the problem is getting the 1 phase on this boss. I'm not going to call it 1 phase, but getting the boss to run how I want it to run, which is very difficult. So what you should have done, what usually I should have done there, is swap to curtain call first, come behind the boss, and pre-nade, and make sure you hit all 6 rockets. You need to hit all 6. See, that extra bit of damage there we've done, it's going to help for later. So go to cover, put on coil, and start working on these ads. Yes, I've got a super and I could use it on them. Because of how this strategy works, it won't suffice, because if I use it now, the second room isn't going to give me enough super energy for the final room, and I need my super for the final room. Like, the final room is what makes the run. That makes the run faster than my striker. So that's why I choose just to kill the ads normally. The way these rooms work is you don't actually need to kill all the ads. You just need to kill the major to unlock the room. There's a fine line with it though. If you leave too many ads up and die in the process, then obviously it's you've ruined the whole run. So obviously I already had coil on, so I can put my curtain call on and then just run through. This is the next. It's split into 3 DPS phases if you like. This is the second phase. Again, most of your rockets need to hit, and a nade. I think all my rockets hit.
We've activated more lasers.
Yeah, all of them hit, but the last one was immune.
It's hard not to admire the artistry.
It's really not.
And I decided to save this last rocket. Like I was saying again, you don't need to kill all these ads, but you kind of do need to kill some to stay alive. And then once it's pretty safe, you can kind of focus the Minotaur. Not only that, taking your time ain't too bad on this, because you need a lot of things going into the farm room. You need a super, you need melting point, you need a thermite, and you need your barricade. And you need to have done your coil trick. All in this room. You can't leave this room. If you leave this room and do all that, like if you do your coil trick in this room, it'll mess up the boss positioning. I think the boss kind of spawns in early if you do that, so you need to be able to run through that room. So this is the last DPS, so we're going to kill him out right here. So rally, hit all your rockets if you can. Oh, I actually missed one. Okay. Once you've unloaded all your rockets, do a nade. He should sit in it because he does his blast attack. Then approach him with melting point. It is risky, but go in. And then just unload my hammers while melting point. Remember, you got 6 seconds on that. So most of my hammers had melting point on him. He's one shot. So am I, but I kill him. And that's how you get the 1138. So if I hadn't had that death, this would be the death on that stretch.
I've never asked that.
This could have been 11 minutes, sub 11 minutes. It's just
There's something strange about this.
I can't always replicate this boss 1 phase like that. That's why it's really hard to do. So that's why I'm uploading this one. But if I do get a better time, then I'll upload it definitely. But I thought this was a pretty good damn time, anyways. But thank you, people. That was the run. Thank you.